What up, guys? Jay here from Jay's Chaldea, and the fall 2020 anime season has officially begun, and we are going to kick it off with a review that I've been looking forward to doing, and that is of course of the Burn the Witch OVA, the latest work from Bleach's author Tite Kubo. So as per usual with these, technically this is an OVA review, but I would count this as a full season review because they dropped all 3 of the episodes at once. I will be covering the events of the entirety of the OVA, so do yourself a favor, go and watch all 3 episodes, and then come back here and tell me your thoughts and feels in the comments down below, because I will be going into spoiler territory. You have been warned. Okay, so I am actually a pretty big Bleach fan. I grew up in the big 3 shonen era, obviously, with Naruto, One Piece, Bleach. Loved all 3 of them. Obviously, One Piece is still going strong. One Piece is great. Naruto I absolutely loved, even if, the war arc was kinda shit. And then Bleach, I also really enjoyed. Bleach was probably the one I liked the least in terms of story, but in terms of action and character design, I loved Bleach. Plus, the world building was really cool. I loved the whole idea of the Soul Society, La Cerate, Wakamundo, all those different locations. Pretty cool, and I always wondered if there was more to it. And Kubo has answered that question. So, we've heard of the Soul Society in Japan. That's where Ichigo and the gang are, right? And the Soul Palace, the Cerate, all that is very much modeled after feudal Japan. But now we get to see the SSWB, or the Soul Society Western Branch, which is located in Reverse London. So let's go ahead and talk about it. This OVA is based off of 4 chapters that Kubo released, well, 4 chapters plus a one-shot that Kubo released of Burn the Witch. So it's not a full-on anime series, although they leave it on a cliffhanger, so there's definitely a possibility for a season 2 later on. But yeah, this one, they kind of throw you in the middle of things. So if you can, I would highly recommend before starting this to at least read the one-shot chapter. Not chapter 1, but like the one-shot that was released before the first official chapter, because that will give you at least some of the initial world building and stuff. Now, like, the OVA itself does a pretty good job at like telling you what's going on about some of the things, but a lot of the times they're just throwing terminology at you and expecting you to follow along, which, isn't too bad, but they do dump a lot on you at once to be like, okay, so there are dragons here, dragons exist, and so there are dark dragons, and these witches and wizards who live in Reverse London, which is like kind of this secret hidden world separate from regular London or front London. They basically defend the city from dragon attacks or any rogue dragons and stuff like that. We don't really get to see any of the bigger, finer details of world building, like the fact that dragons are used for everything, including transportation of the witches. Their brooms are actually dragons, stuff like that. We don't get any of those smaller details. That's more expanded on in the manga, which I get it. They only have half an hour to do these stories, so they couldn't really spend time to just dump all this information. So it makes a lot of sense. So we get introduced to our 2 main characters. We got Noelle and Nini. So Noelle is your stoic, badass, by the book type officer, whereas Nini is your cocky, loose cannon, all about action type of officer. Now, Nini is the senior officer, and Noelle is her junior. And they work for, of course, Wingbind, which is the, Western branch of the Soul Society, and they work in the Piper's division, which is basically like the conservationist division, where they actually like tame, wrangle, and capture dragons rather than just, you know, outright exterminating them or fighting them. Fighting them is the Saber's job. You know, we get brief mentions of the other divisions, and we even get to see the directors of each division, which, you know, is basically the equivalent of the Gote 13, you know, the captains in Bleach. So, you know, there's definitely more to this world than meets the eye, and hopefully we'll get a season 2 to more fully expand that. So basically, right, we have our main cast of Nini, Noelle, and Balgo. Balgo is quite possibly the most annoying character I have ever met. You know, with Bleach, Orihime was, you know, constantly the damsel in distress. She didn't really do anything besides like heal and whatnot, but at least Orihime like was a healer, and a really good healer. She put in work when work needed to be done. Balgo, all Balgo does is simp over Noelle. He simps over Noelle, and he just plays with his cute dragon doggo, which admittedly Osushi is really fucking adorable, but that does not make him any less annoying. Plus, he's like stupidly oblivious, and not in like an endearing way. He's just like, dude, what are you doing? Get the fuck out of here, man. I can't stand Balgo, I swear. I really can't. And, you know, all throughout the OVA and the chapters, like, their main mission is, of course, to protect Balgo, because Balgo is what's called a dragonclad. So he is a natural magnet to dragons. So, of course, with their job being to tame and capture dragons, Balgo is usually the perfect bait, which is kind of his role. So there is that. He does have that use, I guess. And then basically, there comes an order to basically kill Balgo, because, you know what, we don't need to deal with all this mess. You know, him attracting dragons to him just is causing a bunch of property damage and destruction. Let's just get rid of him. And so, of course, Nini and Noelle defend Balgo from freaking Bruno Bang Knife, which, by the way, Kubo, you make some of the edgiest but also most badass sounding names. Bruno Bang Knife comes in with his big ass lightning dragon, Reichenbach, which, holy shit. The only reason I know Reichenbach is because, you know, I've read the Sherlock Holmes novels, and Reichenbach Falls is where Moriarty and Sherlock have their like final duel, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, Reichenbach and the fucking Bruno Bang Knife come after Balgo, and then we discover, of course, later, because Nini is the leader of an idol group, and it turns out one of the members of the group that is like super shy and basically is a yandere for Nini. You know, she's like super in love with her and like gets really homicidally jealous whenever anyone is friendly with her. She ends up actually raising a baby dragon, and it turns out this baby dragon is not just any ordinary dragon. It is one of the legendary dark dragons, which is each named after a fairy tale. This particular dark dragon is, of course, Cinderella, because it matures in the moonlight, just like Cinderella's spell in the story. Like, she turns into a pumpkin at midnight. So that's pretty cool. There's an epic fight with, you know, Bruno, Nini, and Noelle against Cinderella. They manage to take it down, and Nini ends up, you know, feeling really bad for, of course, her friend. But all's well that ends well, because Macy ends up working with them, at the Piper agency, which, by the way, I didn't really get to talk about it much, but we get a little bit more of the supporting cast as well. We get to see their chief, the chief of the Pipers Association, or the Pipers Division. He seems like he's like really dumb and incompetent, but he has a secret badass streak to him, which I really love those type of characters. Master Roshi, he seems super dumb and silly until you see him get buff and serious. Same with somebody like Jiraiya. Now, obviously, this old man mentor isn't a perv, or at least it doesn't seem like he's a perv. He just seems to be dumb and incompetent. But it turns out he's a fucking badass that can snipe out a fucking legendary dragon with his finger. Like, bro, I need to see more of this guy. And I also want to know more about the different, directors. Why is it that, Nini wants to join the Sabres so bad, other than, of course, she wants more action. And, of course, we learn the basic motivations for Noelle and Nini. Noelle wants, the money, right? She wants to earn, the profit from the missions, because they get paid for every, dragon that they successfully tame and capture. And, of course, Nini wants the achievement points, because if she earns enough achievement points, she'll be able to earn a promotion and get into Sabres. So, what is the reasoning behind this? What exactly put them on this journey? How did they get to Reverse London in the first place? Very curious. I hope, Kubo does get the green light to, do more of these, 4 chapter, sagas. And, flesh out this side of the Soul Society even more. I thought it was really interesting. I don't think he needs to do a weekly. I mean, those weekly schedules are pretty tough, and we saw what happened with Kubo by the end. It was really straining on him. He ended up having health issues, and, no one wants that for him. I think these 4-issue chunks are the perfect pace for him, and lets him really go all in, and it's pretty dope. When Kubo really puts in all his effort, it ends up, making really great work, and Burn the Witch is definitely the case with that. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys thought about it in the comments down below. As always, don't forget to leave this video a like to let me know you enjoyed it. And if you like what I do here and you want to see more from me, be sure to hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you get notified every time I upload a new video. I will be reviewing a bunch of other shows from the fall 2020 lineup in a weekly review fashion. I'm going to be covering Danmachi, Season 3, Yashahime for sure. I'm going to check that one out. And then a bunch of other ones. So if you like what I did here covering Burn the Witch and you want to hear me, talk about just individual episodes week to week, like I said, be sure to hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you get notified every time I upload a new video. In the outro card, I will leave linked a video YouTube's mysterious algorithm thinks you might like, as well as my latest review from Summer 2020, which I believe is my teen romantic comedy snafu, the final season, which I absolutely loved. So definitely check those out. But until next time, I'm Jay from Jay's Taldea, and I'll catch you guys in the next review. Johnny minasan!